listening.
We'll see. We'll see what he does. All right, we are live. Hello, everybody in the streaming world. We are the Podguyz Podcast, bringing it to you as we do every Monday in Eastern Standard Time. We are on time.
On time.
Oh,
Woo!
whoa, mind blown. I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, we have the ever-loving Picasso. Now, for those who may be, first-time watchers, first-time listeners, you never know, Sparky is our resident artiste. Now, he has nothing on the dissonance books, of course, but he has our own little reconnaissance feature, in his art form of some form. Le Sparky.
It's Sparky.
And Sparky's got the big board, and he says, why did I order the special?
Those damn aliens.
That looks like it's a callback from Spaceballs. Am I right there, Sparky?
Aliens. God dang it.
Or Alien. You got to go to the original.
Aliens.
Gotta go to the original.
Although that song in it's hello, my baby. Hello, my daughter. Can't beat that.
Gotta love Mel Brooks movies. I would say they don't make them like they used to, but the Wayans brothers kind of had a Mel Brooks movie kind of feel to satiring and parodying movies, and so did Leslie Nielsen at the time for a little bit of time with Naked Gun movies and crap, just like nods and tips to pop culture at the time. But we do have a fourth square, Tony.
We do have a fourth square. We are joined today by author extraordinaire Aaron.
Oh, me. Aaron.
Hi,
I heard
Aaron.
extraordinaire,
Hi.
and I just tuned out. I was like, they can't be talking about me.
Aaron's like, when's this guy coming out? Yeah.
I thought it was author average is usually, or author subpar is what I usually introduce myself
Aaron
as.
Ryan, everyone. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much. So good to be here. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I know we had a slight snafu in scheduling, and then you went off to Hawaii. How was it? Was it beautiful?
I did. Did you do it anyway? And you had that fourth square was just black, and there was like Aaron was supposed to be here.
We had a slight picture of you that we threw darts at for a little bit. But
did Sparky draw that one too?
He did.
We played the movie Pearl Harbor on the bottom part, since
because I look so much like Ben Affleck. I know. I get it.
Because you were in Hawaii, so we're just like it's close enough.
Not that island, and no bums this time.
All right.
No, Hawaii was very nice. I looked slightly darker a month or two ago than I am now. Back to pale. But yeah, it was great. Good time.
No, family vacation. Was it
family vacation? Yeah,
what was the cool thing that you did in Hawaii?
Oh, there's a super long list, but so we like to go to Kauai. There it is. I love that.
There he is popping up there.
Ron.
Was that a viable jump?
It was the volcano sacrifice. Yes.
Okay. We didn't do any volcano sacrifices. No, it wasn't on the list. But we always go to Kauai. That is where
wasn't on the list.
Wasn't on the list. Not this time. We're gonna do it next time. It's just we're looking at the schedule. We're going. I don't know. We got to get we got to get to the Kilauea Lighthouse, and the sacrifice will, they got to close before then. It was great. We have our 8 and 5-year-old sons, and we went everywhere, but it is the Garden Island, lots of rain. So we got rained out a lot, and did the luau, did the catamaran, did the train ride, and everything that 8 and 5-year-olds love and parents don't. But they're obligated to do because they have 8 and 5-year-olds. So Pixar, everything.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, if
sacrifice for the little ones.
That's why I drink scotch. That's why I got to drink the scotch.
Yeah, it's sacrificing for the little ones and not sacrificing the little ones.
That's a different trip entirely, and it is really for most people a one-time trip. You don't go again after you do that. You're not allowed really to go anywhere after you do that.
It's frowned upon. Generally. Not illegal, but just frowned upon.
Generally, yeah. It's more like a guideline than a rule.
One less seat you need to buy on the trip back.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you do save money. It's coupon day.
That's true. That's true.
They don't charge kids full price on a plane, do they?
They do.
Of course they do.
That's a son of a bitch.
Yep. Yeah, they get you everywhere.
They do.
Anyways, Aaron, your claim to fame, sir, is your Dissonance books. Of course, we would like to talk a little bit about.
Now, for people that are not familiar with the Dissonance saga, it is here's a short description here. I'm on the dissidencetheseries.com, where you can be redirected to go to Amazon and buy the whole series. Why just buy one book when you could buy 6 altogether and just never skip a beat? Skip around if you like, But it's in June 2026, the aliens silently floated down through our clouds. At first, we thought they were angelic messengers. We were wrong. We called them Gorgons after the mythical Medusa, because you couldn't look at them. If you locked eyes with them, it was all over. 3 months later, 85% of mankind was wiped out. Aaron, did you write that?
I did. That's my own writing. Yes, I came up with that.
Very nice. English. No, that was very gripping right there.
Well, English. Yeah, well, that's the premise of it, and you have to write a gripping synopsis. But so Gorgons, when I was a kid, I'll never forget. It was 1981. See, I told you I wouldn't forget. I was 8, and they had the claymation stop motion photography Medusa in the Harry Hamlin edition of Clash of the Titans. And I'll never forget the when they go into Medusa's temple, and Medusa comes out, and it's just, it's so cheesy now just by today's standards of CGI, but it was so gripping. And when she comes up to the screen, the camera zooms in on her, her eyes glow green, and there's this high dissonant shriek that sounds, and I ran out of the room. I just ran out of the room. And I needed something like that was terrifying, a monster that was novel, that wasn't just going to come eat you, but they freeze you, and you feel every agonizing bite. So, but with any great story, there's another story, and you come to find out that the real enemy is always, yet again, man. Man's always.
I love the numbers guy. Whenever it comes to sci-fi dramas or books or novels or whichever you'd like to call them, I always like the numbers guy, where it's 85% of humanity was wiped out. Like who's going around with the pen and pad? You're like, hey, all right.
That's
the census workers survived somehow, and
why is it them?
Guys, I got it here. 85% total wipeout.
It's always the census workers and the lawyers that survive, and I don't know why that is. Yep, stupid.
No,
lawyers.
I do have to talk about this 5-star scathing review, Aaron. 5-star scathing review.
Which one is that?
The very first one, it says, Dissonance Volume 1 Reality takes readers on an immersive journey into a dystopian world filled with suspense, surprises, and endearing characters. With a unique blend of science fiction elements and gripping storytelling, the author captivates audiences from the very first page.
Yeah.
So kudos to you, sir. Kudos.
Oh, thank you very much.
The characters feel very real and relatable, drawing readers into their struggles and triumphs, while the plot unfolds with perfectly timed twists and turns that keep you on the edge of your seat.
I wrote that.
Yeah, beautiful. It's very nice.
No, I wrote that
great review to write yourself right there.
Yeah, I wrote that review. Is what I mean. Yeah. Oh, that's to say. Yeah. I can't remember what moniker I used as a pseudonym for that. That's a beautiful drawing.
Yeah, it was just something. Yeah, it was something on there. We're gonna call him Tom.
Yes, we'll call him Tom. The reviewer.
Yeah, we're gonna call him Tom.
I'm not sure what Sparky is doing down there.
He is illustrating. I'm guessing he's going to try to pitch you some illustrations for the book that you might be missing out on right now. Now, everyone knows if words there's only so many of them, but a picture is worth at least 1,000 words. Yeah. And Sparky's is worth about 1,001. So Sparky, flip that big board around, show him the value of your work. It is outstanding right here. As you can see the detail right there. I will decapitate the audience, and I'm guessing Medusa is right there. And I was expecting some kind of, sicker idea there, but that's okay, Sparky. We're pitching balls.
Just throw the book right out.
This is a horrible cover. Horrible. Yeah. Why would I have this when I can have that? I mean, that is what would sell. My goodness. I don't know what I was thinking.
It is
you
quality.
See how he almost had the circles on his figure perfect, and it's tough to draw a perfect circle. And then the other lines, they were, you could totally tell where the arms were and where the legs were. And that's the most important part when drawing a person.
I think it was where the snake hair begins and the snake hair ends.
Yeah. Now there were no faces on the snake, but you can try kind of draw a face with your imagination. You leave that up to the
viewer, the watcher, the
viewer.
reader.
Yeah. Like unlike these. No, this actually sounds like I don't own the book. I am thinking about buying it though.
What?
I know.
It's an anthology, sir.
This is the reason that we like to spotlight authors, because we feel like Tony especially knows the good books out there when it comes to sci-fi action, and the spotlights aren't on you guys hard enough. This could easily be a TV series or a movie. I always say the best books turn into movies. And for those that say that the book is better than the movie, I always say that they're wrong, because the reason that the book was good is because it was able to be turned into a movie.
I don't know if we've talked since we first talked. That sounded weird. Strike that. I don't know if we've talked in a while, but this one has actually been adapted for the screen and is currently being pitched to major streaming networks.
Well, how about that? Look at that. Me predicting the future right there. Exciting. Walking into this blindfold. That's awesome. That was
very prescient. Very prescient.
So so we have Dissidents. Now it's probably going to be a smash hit. So this is a good thing. You're not going to be like Stephen King, where he sees the movie and he's like, I don't like it. It's like, dude, what are you talking? You notice the only movies that Stephen King really liked was like Tommy Knockers, and that was like a TV kind of kick around thing. And you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is. And you knew that Tommy Knockers wasn't bad, but you were for certain that it wasn't anything amazing. But you're not. Are you going to be one of those writers when you see the movie, you're going to say, "Oh God,"
you're going to pick it right apart?
I don't know. So let me just say this. So I'm working with my screenwriter. It's so surreal to say that I was working with my screenwriter the other day. And I'm literally 3 degrees away.
You need to throw a pinky up every once in a while.
I was working with while I sip my lemonade.
There you go. There you go. Put your foot up on an ottoman, why don't you?
In dialogues with my screenwriter. He's actually, so James Cameron, I know nobody knows who that is. It used to be married to Gail Ann Hurd, powerful producer in Hollywood. Gail Ann Hurd did a contest for Hollywood Fellows.
I don't think anyone's ever heard of her.
Yeah. Heard. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
He did a contest for screenplays, and my screenwriter was one of 5 who won that contest. So I'm literally 3 degrees away from James Cameron. Makes me excited. He was very collaborative, so we would meet every week or 2 weeks. He would write up, further sections of the screenplay, and he did make 2 drastic deviations where I was going, you can't. Can we not? I mean, that's not going to work later on. It has bearings on the future. And so he changed them back, and he's attributed a phrase to somebody who wouldn't say that. I said, can you, flip those around? Very collaborative. We are, what we would do, and that is a fear, Kevin. It's a totally valid fear. But what we would do in the contract, and we'd have to get an entertainment attorney and all that stuff, is stipulate that when the further screenplays are written as an episodic treatment, so it's not a movie, it would go to a streaming network. When those are written, we get to serve as consults for that. And he's a screenwriter. He wants to write more screenplays for this. That's contract stip number 1. Number 2 is that we'd actually be consultants on set. And how cool would that be? But going back to your original question, I'm going to be as giddy as an 11-year-old schoolgirl. I don't know why I switched genders. I would be giddy as an.
You really went there. You stretched out.
The schoolgirl a little older.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's why.
For some strange reason, I pictured you in a schoolgirl outfit.
Did you
which
like
was also weird?
Pigtails?
Don't say that in the Hollywood room right there, because they're like, hold on.
Yeah.
We have to leave now. An 11-year-old schoolgirl was just mentioned. This is amazing.
I don't know. Yeah, Hollywood.
And then by the time you know it, they're resurrecting the corpse of Shirley Temple, and she's in the movie.
Come on, nobody is P. Diddying around here, okay?
No.
I thought I was drinking something. What are you drinking?
I'm on Mountain Dew Baja Blast, which before you could only find at Taco Bell. But white trash people have lobbied the Pepsi Corporation, such as myself, and we have gotten it in bottles in stores.
You know what I found the other day? I went on a pilgrimage. I'm going to call it that. It was a pilgrimage to Clarksville and Nashville, Tennessee, and drove up to Blue Spring, Kentucky. That's where these are set. And so I wanted to actually, when I wrote these books, I threaded their way through the streets of Clarksville and in Nashville and in Blue Spring, Kentucky, using Google Satellite View, Street View. So they're actual places and landmarks in a post-apocalyptic setting of 2042. I wanted to go there. And so I saw all
realization. I like the realization of it.
Well, walking where your characters walk, and it just becomes so much more, it passes over surreal to a place of real. And anyway,
well, not only that, but it gives you a frame of reference, and to say, like, even as a writer, director, whatever type of thing you're doing now for the movie aspect of this, like now you can visualize and you can add more attention to detail going forward.
Definitely easier to storyboard that way for sure. But Aaron, real quick, dream actor to play in this movie.
It's so funny.
It cannot be anyone in these four squares.
Yeah. Oh, never mind.
I mean,
I know.
I was gonna say Sparky's first drawing. That guy is an uncanny resemblance to
Damn it! I knew it.
No, it's really funny. I know that it's going to be funny to people, but the last interview I did, they asked the same question, and that's what we're doing. We're not just pitching to producers right now. We're not going just the producer track. We're also going the A-list. Or just sub A-list celebrities agents track, because if you get buy-in from an actor who goes, I want to do this, then you get more interest and you get somebody attached to it. One of the people on the top of the list for Jet, who is the 23-year-old Army Sergeant protagonist of the book, was Dylan Sprouse.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dylan Sprouse. And my Alan, my screenwriter, went, oh, it's beautiful. I love it. I hadn't thought of that. I was looking through the pictures and reading the bios and going, he strikes me as a Jet. And I don't remember all the other names. The kid who was in Shazam, the kid actor, Asher Angel is another good contender for Jet. I looked at Emma Watson and I was going, Emma Watson would make a great Trudy, I think. Got to lose the British accent. But anyway, hey, I was just saying
very good at
she could lose the British accent, but you bring up a very valid thing I wanted to touch on real quick. The agencies with these actors, because if you can get in touch with the agencies correctly and you can get the right spider web full of actors that these agencies also have a part and a touch of, and agencies are also attached to production companies. Disney has their people, MGM has their people, and so on and so forth. Paramount is a dying organization that doesn't know how to make a streaming service, but that's okay. Thank you, Paramount, for thinking that I need to see a toilet paper commercial. Amazing that you think that I don't know what toilet paper is by now, but I really appreciate you fucking around with my time on that one.
Really
anyway,
way to ride on the coattails of SpongeBob SquarePants for 10 years.
Yeah. Now we... Basically, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Paramount.
Thanks, Paramount, for condoning all of what Dan Snyder did, you scumbag of an organization. AT&T owns HBO, and HBO has their own thing going on. But anyways, if there's an actor out there that you can get to play the protagonist, but who comes with the actor isn't a good supporting cast, or you can get your second favorite or maybe top five-ish actor in there, but the supporting cast is outstanding. What would you rather? Would you rather the ensemble be and then the starting cast being like, whoa, we got him, thank God, or the other way around?
No, I would actually prefer that, with the supporting cast being, because it is an ensemble. Obviously, it's a first-person book. Your protagonist, you're going to see it through his eyes. You're going to experience everything through his lens, his funnel. But there's a lot of character development. There's a lot of world building in the story, especially number one.
It's very much a Walking Dead-ish cast ensemble.
Just no zombies. So, but those guys, they need to be good actors and actresses. You can really torpedo a production, and I totally get, everybody has a production company now, these actors. But you can torpedo a production and really diminish the value and the buy-in and the engagement if you have a lead actor that nobody likes. Like I'll never watch anything Matthew McConaughey. I don't care how good Interstellar is.
All right.
I don't watch him. Yes. I have a shirt. I have that shirt, but it says all right. All right. All right.
So Matthew McConaughey, so Matthew McConaughey's only been playing the same person. Matthew McConaughey's only been playing himself for 10 movies in a row right about now. Yeah. And when he isn't himself, the Texas Buyers Club or whatever, right? For half of the movie, he's acting very well. Then the other half of the movie, when his character is getting a little bit better, he starts turning into Matthew McConaughey. And you're like, motherfucker. Because you can hear it kind of change up. And a lot of actors do that for it.
Kevin, do you know who has the best integrity as far as, self-sufficient all the way across the board? It is always Sparky.
Yeah, he's been very patient right now. Look at him. He's so patient.
Kevin Bacon, just because. There you go. Just put Kevin Bacon in this.
When I look at Kevin Bacon, regardless. I see a 23-year-old. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Huh? The guy will always be 25 to 30 years old within that demographic anyways, even though he's 80 and crippled and like he could be in a wheelchair and he would still be a 25 to 30-year-old.
And if they cast him, I would go back and I would rewrite volume 1 to incorporate more dancing. It just needs to happen that way. It needs to be forbidden at first.
And like especially with aliens. You need to
I was just going to say with Gorgons. Yep.
Yeah. The Gorgons need to be lifted into the air, very apropos-ish.
A mosh pit of Gorgons, yes. Oh, goodness.
But go ahead, Kevin.
I caught my wife watching Kevin Bacon's TV series, I Love Dick. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, I didn't know what this was about. And I'm like, sure you didn't. It's all right. It's okay. He's still very relevant right now, Kevin Bacon, and he's kept his relevancy throughout the years. The dancing, I don't know, man. John Lithgow, we're gonna dance and they're not gonna stop us. It felt like kind of significant at the time, but then you're just like, are you just doing this to compete with the demographic of people that are wondering what happened to John Travolta? And now they found their new, plug and play right there. Just throwing it out there.
Just throwing it out there.
I mean, with your, those particular characters, your John Travolta, your Arnold Schwarzenegger, your Sylvester Stallone, the aforementioned washed up actors who are still a draw by any means.
Sure.
But couldn't act their way out of a paper bag anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of is what it is.
I think we could all agree that Arnold Schwarzenegger has been playing the Terminator for 35 years. Sylvester Stallone has been playing different versions of Rocky for 35 years. And when I say different versions, Rambo was just Rocky with PTSD. Rambo was just Rocky with PTSD.
Valid brain.
I'm going to say it one more time. It was just Rocky with PTSD. And, terrible. The cliffhanger, just like, it's a lot of terrible stuff right there. But being that this is in the sci-fi field, Aaron, I wanted to ask you, what books did you write before Dissonance?
Ooh, that's a good question.
So here's the honest to goodness truth. So I wrote 6 voiceover business guides that are largely composed of satirical material, fictional material, inspirational
material.
Can
we hear one line from those?
From the books?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Your most favorite line?
Well, it's not something that I wrote, actually. It's probably the mantra that I incorporated from a movie I like to pretend doesn't exist, and that's Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. And it is, your focus determines your reality. I was really big on conveying that mantra to the voiceover community. The voiceover community grew really toxic, and I ended up leaving last year. I don't regret it one bit. And I just saw a boon of creativity ever since I left. Churned out a whole bunch of music CDs. I'm a musician as well. Started writing again, and I started writing last fall on all 6 of these. So the first one was published January 1st. The second one was published March 20th. The third, May 18th. The first prequel was June 6th. The second prequel was September 3rd. Those are all critical dates in my history or the book's narratives. So I wanted them to be on those dates
too. Like very, very quick for books.
I actually have been pushed back, and I'll say that pushed, it just seems like a negative word, but the voiceover industry is crumbling. A lot of creative industries are crumbling because of AI. AI's really come for voiceovers. I've seen my income drop. I've seen the industry crumble. So I'm trying to pivot, and I'm going back to writing because I have written fiction before. I wrote a 300-page fictional novel in the early 90s that I ultimately abandoned. I wrote lots of fiction as a kid. The blogs that I wrote and the books that I wrote for voiceovers are composed largely of a lot of satire, which incorporates a lot of fiction. So it was a natural fit. And as a voiceover artist, I'm a storyteller. Now I'm just telling my own stories instead of theirs. So it wasn't a big bridge to cross, Kevin. Last fall, I was like, I have to do something because the voiceover industry is in peril. I'm going to go back to writing, and I'm going to write.
Wouldn't that be an amazing story where you're already talking very passionately about the play-by-play on how AI has kind of taken the wind out of the sails of voiceover actors? You don't need to take two with AI and all that nice stuff. So do you think that if robots are gaining, or AI, whatever you want to call them, if they're gaining consciousness, right, and they want to consciously take over the society, the first thing that AI would do would use greed or the invention of money against people by demonetizing people, turning them against each other, and imploding society?
Wow.
I was going to say,
a lot to unwrap right there.
That's a big jump for me. The thing that I am cautious about and concerned about, the biggest concern that I have with AI is that people, creatives in particular, are willing to embrace it when we're surrendering our God-given right to create in so doing. So I actually, for me, when people will turn to a software like Speechelo for $49 and they'll synthesize a human voice, they'll call it good, they'll throw it up there. People will use ChatGPT and OpenAI to write a complete story for them, whip up some crappy, elementary grade cover, throw it up on Amazon, call it theirs, and capitalize on it. I think it's really despicable.
The thing is that I think that businesses are using this to their advantage by saying to their customers that they are so with the times, they are so together with everything, that what you're hearing right now isn't even a real human. It is their AI technology. So that way they're the new sexy thing on the block. They're pushing it out there where they're using their money and their resources to make your money go further in any which way possible. It's just a new thing for right now. And then soon, 10 years later, you'll hear people say something like, we don't use AI technology like those other companies. We use real humans, blah, blah. Like there's a way to always market something. Tony, go ahead. You look like
I do have a question. Trendy. And not necessarily that, we have our finger on the button of Hollywood, but by any means, does the AI squabble kind of put the higher 2% hierarchy, which are doing multiple, and we're talking a small amount of people that do voiceover work on a repetitive nature. Now we're talking like the people, the same people that are doing like anime, they're doing cartoon voiceover, they're doing voiceovers for movies, all of those particular characters. Does that benefit them the most with the AI stuff that just went in with the strike?
No, character and animation is a genre in voiceovers, and that's I would say that actually is one of the safest genres to be in, because it requires a lot of inflection and things that a computer can't really synthesize all too well. Computers also don't take directions well. You can program in what you want and just hope for the best. It's kind of like throwing crap on the wall and seeing if it sticks. E-learning is a genre that is really, really lucrative. I'm a commercial and e-learning voiceover artist. I'm the voice of United Healthcare. So all the national TV commercials that you see and hear, that's commercial work. That's me.
I just bought a policy pre-show.
Yeah. I was probably, thank you. I mean, I did my job. But character or e-learning is a sector that grew by like I don't know, I can't remember, like $6 billion in 2020 to 2021 or whatever it was. With all the distance learning because of COVID, people learning from home, the industry shot right up. AI is coming for that. People, it's easy to synthesize just a quick video about assembling a vacuum, right? Putting a vacuum cleaner together. Answering machines, IVR, interactive voice trees, and all those. Like for Bob, press 1. Nobody needs a voice actor for that. So those little subgenres are being eaten up, but commercial is still doing okay. It's just that there's so many genres, and I do so many genres, they're all being affected.
Oh, man.
I know. Well,
tragic.
Sparky does have something there on the big board. This is his way that he talks, and this is one thing AI is not getting after, his artwork right here. Do you need car warranty updated, or do you want to hear the voice of Darth Vader? Can you do both?
God rest James Earl Jones.
Yeah, are you more of a Star Wars guy or a Star Trek guy? And there's you could say both. We're not ashamed of saying both.
So favorite movie of all time is Aliens, James Cameron.
Very nice, yeah.
The same.
Yeah.
Star Wars, there's a gritty,
great start off, by the way, Sparky. Great start off.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. Star Wars has a really gritty, attainable reality to it. Star Trek is glossy, antiseptic, clean, in the far reaches of space. Everything's, neutralized and just spotless. Star Wars, you've got oil dripping through the panelization on the Millennium Falcon. It doesn't work all the time. Han's got to, bash the cockpit. What I did play off that, and my wife and I watched I Am Legend the night before I started writing Dissonance Volume 1 Reality. So Earth's abandoned, the rabies vaccine, or the cancer vaccine generated rabies. Almost everybody's killed off. Lions in the streets. Weeds growing up through the cracks that are 6 feet tall. That's the kind of world, post-apocalyptic world, that I wanted. Sans zombies. It was an alien spin. But I did want the unmaintained, gritty, dirty, dirt under your fingernails, raw reality that's Earth only a few years from now. Because the aliens come in 2026 and they lay waste to society. The books are set in 2042, 16 years after that annihilation. No one's been around to take care of anything.
Perfect time for a prequel on the end of the world is the beginning of the end of the world in 2026. We're just 2 years away from that idea. So the marketing of this book, of the prequel, is outstanding, in my opinion. I love the idea. I love the concept for it. James Cameron is one of my favorites besides Kubrick. And, when it came to the Terminator movies, I felt like they did time travel correct because they kept doing it unlimited amount of times. They kept with that kind of trope. And the way that the space-time continuum would happen, they did it because it was a part of the story. Other stories use time travel specifically because they don't have anything else in their gun. They have no more ammo left. So they're like, well, maybe there's different universes and dimensions. And we'll just say, I'll give you an example. Any Doctor Strange movie, you don't need a plot. You're just playing Mad Libs with the script. So, as a writer, I'm sure you can appreciate that. That does not count as creativity, by the way, because in every dimension, in every universe, Doctor Strange is a douchebag. Every single one of them. He's just some kind of cuck fool that I don't know, man.
Now, Aaron,
they said, let's make a sequel because who cares anymore? And they did.
Aaron, how big is your nerd meter on a 1 to 10 scale?
Well, it's a very high on the nerd meter, but it's very specific tastes. So, I mean, I don't like everything out there. Never seen a single episode of Doctor Who or Doctor, any of that.
I just don't ever watch it. It's so bad.
Yeah. I like what I like, and I'll watch it over and over and over again. Lord of the Rings. I wear this. This is not the One Ring. I should clarify that. I see I'm still here.
Although you have a plethora.
I do have a plethora. Well, these are different. It's clink.
Now, Rings of Power is getting a lot of flack right now. I don't mind it at all. It's totally watchable. Script is, the storyline's fine, but people are picking around at it.
I want to clarify. My family's names are etched on here. That's why I wear that. It's very sacred to me that way.
It's a beautiful homage.
Yeah. But Aliens, though, the Aliens movie, and Alien 3, the original Alien. I did like Alien Romulus. Plays very much like a greatest hits, and the last 15 minutes I hated. I mean, I literally buried my face in my hands.
Yeah.
They were doing so well, is what I remember saying.
Yeah,
but
and then rate the shit.
Yeah, I'll watch it over and over and over again. But the engineer crap, that was Ridley Scott sitting on Fede Alvarez's shoulder going like, how about an engineer here? Yeah, this would be good. Yeah. Why don't you put an engineer? And it was
Alien versus Predator, anything like that. What about Freddy versus Jason? You see, they shouldn't have these guys fight each other. They're in different movies.
Our kids are gigantic fans of Godzilla versus Kong. So I do like the MonsterVerse crossovers because they just thrash everything and buildings fall. I mean, entire buildings fall. The kids love that colossal destruction and just, chaos and pandemonium. They're boys.
It's a great way to sell toys. It's just an amazing way to sell toys to children, where now you can hit these two things together and have them fight each other as well. And the old marketing gimmicks are still out there, because now you have kids spokesmen out there that they're unknown about the whole thing. The kids are now watching, and they have been watching for a little bit of time now, for the last 5 years. Other children play with toys online right now. Aaron, in Dissidence, do you think that you would have a toy line or a merchandise line? Because I know that is one thing production companies look at as a part of the bottom line.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Can we put this out there? And are the characters so buy-in worthy that people would just want to have it on a t-shirt, a mug, a toy, like action figures? Have you thought about that before? Do you have it already?
Is it a lovable character enough for a spinoff? That's what he's trying to say.
I think so. Just a nice cuddly Gorgon to go to sleep with. A plush stuffy Gorgon. Kids would love that.
People
I do have to clarify,
though. Freddy Krueger was such a lovable character where you're like, whoa, we need 20 of these movies.
Yeah,
right now.
Just give them to kids so they can sleep with them. I do have to clarify, it is called Dissonance, not Dissidents, not Infidels, not along those lines.
Dissonance.
But Dissonance, the opposite of harmony. So, but yes, people have asked and they've said, hey, this would make a great video game. You got any plans, for a video game, shooting up the Gorgons as they're flying by? I think I've wanted to make like Gorgon balloons for trade shows and craft fairs. I do them all the time. Sell lots of books there. How cool would that be to see, this floating Gorgon right here, just hovering above your your trade show booth, and then people are buying them. Oh, yeah, I would love it. A little Luke Skywalker-esque, Mattel action hero of Jet or Bassett.
Would you go rubber balloon, or would you go nylon?
Ooh, Mylar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go Mylar balloon. Yeah.
You'd have to get the shape, the bubble shape to go
I've checked, man. They are spendy.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I don't think I need those. I'm good.
Well, you know what is very spendy around here? And it is not our artistic budget by any means, because Sparky has a little something that he wants to pop up on his board again.
Ooh, let's see it.
We spare no expense for this, by the way, Aaron.
No, it's beautiful. It's like just like The Price is Right.
Your Gorgon is a good fighter, but my Madonna has a secret weapon. And
damn her. Damn her.
You can see the Madonna ones on the left with the legs a little separated out there. Do not look into the eye of the Madonna vagina. And, because it will suck you. It's worse than the Medusa eye, because you will fall in love with her, have kids, get a divorce. The whole Lopez. You'll go the whole Lopez on the whole thing.
I think Sparky was listening. I think that is the crossover everyone's waiting for. Medusa versus Madonna. Yeah. The holy meets the unholy. Ooh. Beautiful.
What kind of acid spitting technique needs to be done in that CGI reference? That would be uncanny.
Oh my goodness. Thanks, Sparky. Appreciate it. Thumbs up.
So, Aaron, what do you have next on the list, sir? I know you have some, you're doing some books, you're doing the selling, you're doing more writing.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to share with the group?
I'm working on books 19 and 20 as we speak. Now, every time I've got a great premise for book 20, which is called Forecast. Every time, however, I finish with a Dissonance book, and then I return to Forecast to continue hammering away at it. It's like it's a bungee cable or tractor beam, sucks me right back into Dissonance. I love the Dissonance world. I love the characters. I love the story. And when I go back in and start writing another installment in them, whether it is a prequel or a sequel, it's just, this is where I belong. I was meant to write this story like George Lucas was meant to create Star Wars. This is my universe. This is where I'm most comfortable. And so I'm working on the sequel to Dissonance, which makes it a hexalogy of 6 books. And then I'll go back and write Forecast, God willing, knock on wood. I've been trying. It's a great story.
Have you thought of doing that as a spin-off series from the Dissonance series itself?
Forecast?
As far as like integrating.
Oh, you mean like having like a Jack Ryan character who's just he's the same one in every one? Yeah. I hadn't, but that would be interesting. I have a character in there in the series. Her name is Pastor Rosie, and she is a force to be reckoned with. She's just a diminutive 78-year-old Mexican woman who is like, wise well beyond her septuagenarian years. She's amazing. Everything she says is gold, and you're not going to win an argument with her. It would be very cool to go back and write a prequel from Rosie's perspective. But she'd be she would be young. She would be younger, but she's a great character, and many of them are just great characters that you could expect.
Aaron, you always come off as a very articulately spoken, talented, and driven person. So with that said, man, I just want to ask you, is there anything when you're watching a movie or reading a book where when you read it or watch it and see it, where you say, well, that's a cheat code right there? That's a plot device. That shouldn't be there. Is there any one thing where you can see it from your perspective as a writer and a creative one at
Sparky,
that?
you know where this is going.
Where you look at it and you're like, you know what? I could tell you the rest of the movie right now, or I could tell you the rest of the book right now. Yeah. Because you're gonna find that throughout the whole thing. Is there any one situation?
Just write it on the board
that you could name that it's aggravating to see that is still used. I'll give you one. Just every sitcom out there throughout 1985 to 1998 had the tablecloth pull as if it's something to do. Every one character did it. It was a fucking weird thing. It was like, why is every one character doing this? They did that in movies as well. But I'll let you answer the question.
Oh boy. The last one that I can remember, and I mean, I'm sure that there's more, and there have been more. This is actually several years ago now. My wife conned me into watching Downton Abbey. So we are watching the series, and there is a foreshadow of someone's about to die. And you see, it's a happy moment. Don't want to ruin it for who hasn't seen it, but it's a happy moment.
Ruin away, sir. Ruin
away. Spoiler alert, everybody. All right. Turn this off if you don't want to.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
we lost our viewers. Please go on.
Matthew just finds out he's pregnant. He's going to be a father. He's so happy. He's driving along. It's a sunshiny day, wind blowing through his hair. Then you see another car coming from the other direction.
Okay. All right.
Come on.
Yep.
Like instantly, right away what's going to happen. This is going to end bad. And you've got this emotional peak from the one guy. You've got to have a counterbalance. It's like there's balance in the force. You've got to have this.
Oh, were they doing something also annoying where they're playing blum 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 la la la, and then they come to the other car and like the guy's all like,
yeah,
Metal Rock and Anarchy in one car.
I think that was only done correctly in one scenario with that Pet Cemetery where the little, the kid, the kid's gonna get hit by the truck, right?
Yeah.
But the portrayal of like, oh my God, trying to run after him, and the poor parenting that went on there, and the grief and the heartache portrayal in that.
Well, poor parenting, I love it.
Yeah, just all of that wrapped in one. That's the only time I've ever seen it work out. But Aaron, I'm with you 100%.
It's foreshadowing. Yeah. It's foreshadowing. When they set it up, and anytime they call it monologuing, in The Incredibles. I have an 8 and 5-year-old, so this is my frame of reference. But anytime any beloved character has a little too much feature time, has a little too much, it's their scene, and they're really letting you into their life, know that character's going down.
What one really makes me angry? The as you know.
As you know.
As you know. Because Aaron, as you know, that time we when they lead in with as you know.
As you know.
And then if you didn't know, boy, they're going to give you an explanation.
Oh, a
just
long,
so that way
explanation.
Now the audience knows instead of it coming together organically.
I think you have the actual reverse part of any of this too. The foreshadowing is one thing. The as you know is another thing. The close-up glimpse or insight into this third-rate supporting cast character's life who never mattered until now because you're about ready to kill him off. All of that is fine, but it's when they go the reverse direction and they put way too much in it. And I am speaking angrily and specifically about The Hobbit. Huge Lord of the Rings fan, but this is an elementary kids book that was meant to stay as such. It became this fat, bloated money grab with elf dwarf love and a prolonged dragon fight and the backstory of the people of Dale. No one cares. No one cares about that.
I could have done without the talking dragon. I could have done without the talking dragon.
Oh no, not me. That's Benedict Cumberbatch, and he was awesome in that.
The talking dragon should have not, his mouth shouldn't have moved. The only time the Hobbit should have been able to hear the talking dragon was with the ring on, and then some kind of telekinesis from that. That would have been, I feel like, a slightly better move. Or my one favorite is, hey, come take a look at this. And then here we fucking go. Oh boy, I wonder if it's...
Oh man.
If you've ever seen the movie The Father with Anthony Hopkins, I think that was one of the most brilliant movies put together. Did you watch it or no?
Nope. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
I'm not going to spoil it for you. Honestly, it was very well acted. The storyboard is at first a little tough to follow, but then you get really quick with it. It's an exercise in followability for 5 minutes in, but then once you get it, you're much quicker with the idea. Anthony Hopkins plays a father who is dementia riddled, and we only find that out organically after 20 minutes into the movie. So you don't really know until it's introduced that way. I would totally advise you to watch it though. This is one of the best.
The Father. Okay, I dig Anthony Hopkins, so sure.
Yeah, he's honestly, he's hit or miss with me.
He was the best Mexican Zorro ever.
yeah, just I don't know. I don't want to correct him or anything, but he came out and said that he has Asperger's, right? Which is like, that is such a really tough area to diagnose or to self-diagnose in any scenario. So that went from Asperger's to people saying, "Oh, I guess Asperger's is kind of like autism." Yeah. Anthony Hopkins has autism, and they're like, "Well, wait, what? On what level of the spectrum?" And they're like, "Oh no, we got a whole thing going on here." And then once they start explaining the whole spectrum of the scenario, you're kind of like, this feels like somebody poisoned people and made this up one day so that way they could have a liability release. Not saying anything about our wonderful pharmaceutical companies, but just tossing it out there. What it kind of feels. Just saying what it kind of feels like.
Yeah. What are we gonna do?
Now, is there in particular any actor that has gone off the rails recently that you would be like, wow, if they showed up for this movie, that is a done deal for me. No way, not happening. And I'm not going to throw Nick Cage under the bus, but Nick Cage.
No, somebody like Ezra Miller. Anytime you cannot completely keep your private life out of disarray, if you can't keep it in balance, then you can't keep the show in balance. And it's just, again, these people, these headliners have the ability to torpedo an entire production with poor behavior, poor social reputation, any of that. So choose wisely, man, for sure.
You a DC comic guy or a Marvel guy? Or cherry picking?
I grew up DC. I grew up watching Super Friends, honestly, but I love the Marvel movies. I'm not a big fan of the DC universe. Not so far, although I did love Henry Cavill. Christopher Reeve is the undisputed all-time Superman for sure. But I loved Henry Cavill. I was not so fond of anybody else other than Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot. I don't even know how you say her last name. Gadot? Gadot?
Gadot?
Gadot? Gal Gadot?
I like how nobody asked that follow-up question where they're like, hey, can she act without the accent? And they're like, oh, probably, yeah.
Probably. Probably.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's just go with it. We'll find out later.
I just didn't like
Kevin, we do need to wrap up.
Wrap up, dude. Yeah.
We're gonna wrap up,
dude.
Aaron, we always ask this question for every one of our inspiring and fantastic. We'll even throw fantastic interviewees. Kevin, please lead the floor, sir.
Aaron, you are a best-selling author, soon to be a best-selling man of the movies, I guess, production artist tree. With all of what you have done in your career, would you count this as the peak of your career?
This interview right here, yes.
I knew it. I know. We got one. Throw it on the board. Throw it on the board, Sparky. Aaron, I swear to God, it is only the most accomplished people that say yes to that, and it is only the least accomplished that say no to that. I swear to God. It's every
the apex.
So it's you know who you are if you said no to it.
That's right. Yeah, losers. No, if you are talking about this interview, yes, absolutely. It's at the top of the list. Very short list too. My Dissonance series is the apex of my creativity. Absolutely. And so I would love to see it. It's been adapted for the screen, but to see it go live, develop a community, take people by storm. It's not just one of the best pieces of advice I was ever given was from a fellow author. I wish I could remember her name. It was in a program or something. She said, if you want to be better at marketing, don't market. Be an enthusiast. And people love to buy. They hate to be sold. But enthusiasm is contagious. People will hitch their wagon to the enthusiasm train. I am so enthusiastic about what I've written, and I'm so humbled that I'm the one who got to write this. I can't wait till more people meet Jet, Ruddy, Trudy, Bassett, Pastor Rosie, Cardona, Manzone, President Gene Graham. There's so many rich characters in here, good and bad, and there's such good storytelling because I wrote it that way and I wanted it to be that way, and a buttload of research that I've done militarily, especially. It's just a fantastic saga. Check it out. GetTheseBooks.com. That's where you go. GetTheseBooks.com.
Now,
can I say that? Was it too early to promote?
If and when you get the creative differences to make choices for your acting portrayal in your movies, of course, make sure that you add both me, Kevin, and Sparky.
Of course,
for the extras list. I just want an extras. I want to be in the background somewhere. I don't want a main part. I don't want lines.
All right, Tony, you can get. I want one of the main parts. Just throwing it out there. If you don't have
just me and Sparky drawing pictures in the background.
I'm gonna say the first title screen at the end is produced by Sparky.
Perfect.
There you go. Yeah, Sparky's got one more piece of.
With love for Sparky.
One more
Sparky,
piece of
flip over that board,
Sparky.
Buddy.
Flip it around. We got it. P. Diddy as
Condiment Man.
Why is there only oil in this bottle? This is good for my hoagie. Says everybody that's been to P. Diddy's house, and and if you haven't heard about what P. Diddy's been up to,
only Italian hoagies at his house.
There have been we're trying to keep it family friendly, but there was 740 some oddly shaped items from P. Diddy. We're not going to say what the items are. Look them up yourself.
Political.
They were pickle shaped. Anyways,
yeah.
So imagine the evidence guy where he's like 647. He's like, all right, and that's
648.
And then there's 100 more dumped on his table. He's like, what the fuck? God damn it! What's wrong with this guy?
Son of a bitch! No, I need to start over.
Numbers on them. What the hell's going on?
Oh my goodness! That, in case you didn't catch that a minute ago, that was me doing this.
Yeah.
Draw that, Sparky.
Aaron, if people were looking to get in touch with you, sir, how would they do it?
getthesebooks.com.
Getthesebooks.com.
Yep. I couldn't believe it was available. So authoraaronryan.com for sure. That's my authoring website. Here goes Sparky. And then as an alternative, because dissonance is a hard word to say and spell, I have dissonancetheseries.com, but just go to getthesebooks.com, and then that's going to take you to the Dissonance website.
As well as sign up for a policy from UHC as well.
That's right. That's me.
Good old United Healthcare.
With the member IDU card. Remember, hurry. Open enrollment ends December 7th.
Love it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Aaron, thank you very much for coming on the show. Sparky, where can you find us if you were going to download us?
I can only
half look.
I can only half
look.
But anyway, you can find us on every single major streaming platform, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Deezer, CastBox, Pocket Cast, GeoReo, Facebook Live Video, Google, Amazon,
YouTube, iTunes, all of the
YouTube. I said to YouTube. You can find our merch at merchbooth.com. We could pick up a nice shirt that Kevin is wearing right there.
Or go to www.thepodguyzpodcast.com.
Beautiful.
Website.
Yeah, more updates on the way with the Podguyzpodcast.com. If you see it in your Facebook Reels, click the link, check out the store, buy something, because you have money and you might as well support the podcast that you watch on Facebook Live every Monday night.
Every
or
week.
That you subscribe to on iHeartRadio, Spotify. You might as well buy a t-shirt and be the coolest person in your neighborhood. You lame jerk. How dare you not buy stuff? Buy a hat. What's wrong with you? Tony has to send his children to college. College costs $1 million.
Private college.
Kevin, tell us how you really feel. Come on.
Man, I was holding back. Thank God. Anyways, the Ottoman Empire. No, I'm joking. We're not going back down to that idea.
P. Diddy and the Ottoman Empire.
Make sure you tune in every Monday night, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary.
Of course, the ever-loving Picasso.
Sparky.
Guys, we're the Podguyz Podcast. We'll catch you next week. Have a great one. Bye. Oh, Jesus.